Alright, y'all. Welcome back. We're here again. It's now Thursday. You know what the quotes mean, the air quotes. I'm here with my man Andrew. You know who it is already.
What's up?
And as promised, we're going to kind of go into our picks. I honestly didn't keep track of who won or who lost. The season's pretty much over now, so it's kind of irrelevant.
You got last week, I think
I won by one pick.
I picked Washington football team.
Right, so we all picked the same except for one, so I won. Big deal. It doesn't really matter at this point, but let's jump right in. Let's go.
Yeah, Rams-Packers.
Rams-Packers.
Saturday, 4:30.
In Lambeau.
In Lambeau. And that is even more of a reason I'm going Packers.
Yeah, me as well.
I just don't think the Rams are going to be able to keep up. Their offense is not anything, really. So that's why they were able to kind of keep up with the Seahawks, because the Seahawks offense is kind of nothing right now, too. And that just happened to be a matchup nightmare. You don't get that same matchup nightmare here. Packers O-line's good. Aaron Rodgers still on fire, as always. He's going to be better off of a bye week, because that's just the kind of guy he is.
Correct.
They're not going to be able to stop Devontae Adams. Jalen Ramsey better be on him tight all game long. Even if he does, they got Aaron Jones in the backfield.
Correct.
It's not going to matter.
And you got MVS.
Right.
You got Lazard out there, too.
Right.
And you got weapons. I think for me, I'm not worried about the Packers' offense. I'm worried about their defense, though. Because if you look at David Akers for the Rams, he had a big day against the on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Packers, what's been the recipe for them? If you can run the football effectively, you might be able to do something.
Sure.
Now, do I think that's going to be the reason why the Rams win? No, I don't think the Rams will win, period. But I think they're going to keep it interesting in that aspect. And I think Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to slow Devontae Adams. Is he going to stop him? I don't think so.
You can't stop
But
him.
he's going to slow him down, which I think will cause a little bit of problems. Looking in the first half, expect the Packers to start off slow. I think the second half is when the Packers are going to kind of open it up. But I just think the Packers' offense is too good to be stopped for 4 quarters. Very similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's very rare you're going to stop an offense that good for 4 quarters. It's just not really going to happen.
Right.
And I don't see it happening here either. So I'm going Packers as well. And it's in Lambeau, and it's going to be cold as shit. And the Rams don't like cold weather. Jared Goff playing in the cold is like 0-4.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers is like 6-0. So.
Right. So if the Rams do win this game, it'll be because they held the Packers to under 30 points.
And they sacked Aaron Rodgers a lot.
Correct.
That's the only way.
Give him fits.
Yep, correct. I don't either.
Let's hop over to Ravens-Bills. This is the most exciting game for me this weekend.
Really? I disagree.
No, this is the one for me.
Oh.
But I'm gonna pick the Bills. I think the Bills' offense is rolling. The Bills are the opposite of the Titans.
Correct.
And the Ravens don't do well against that.
Nope.
The Bills are going to light up the scoreboard. They're going to say, we're going to pass the ball, stop it. And I don't think the Ravens will be able to, because that's not the kind of defense they have. They have a good front 4, even a front 7. They showed that against the Titans. But that back end of that defense needs some help, and they're not going to get it against Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, and Josh Allen.
Correct. I think, for me, I think it all comes down to Lamar Jackson. What is he going to be willing to do, right? Not what is he capable to do, what is he willing to do? Because I think if the Ravens are going to win this game, he's going to have to put himself in a lot of harm's way. And what I mean by that is he's going to have to run the ball a lot. And they may be design runs, they may not be design runs. But I think if the Ravens have any chance of putting up points like the Bills are going to put up points, which they will, it's going to come down to Lamar Jackson being effective with his legs, not his arm. And I just don't see one man being able to keep up with an entire offense. And I think for me, that's kind of my big thing. I'm going Bills 100%. I don't think the Ravens win this game. But again, all these games are going to be close. None of these are going to be a blowout.
No.
We're past that point in the NFL where it's going to be blowouts anymore. It's going to be close. The Bills are going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to a last 2-minute or 3-minute drive for the Ravens to either win or tie. I could very well see the game going down to that, and potentially the defense making a stop or a fumble potentially, because the Ravens seem to be fumble prone for some strange reason.
And the Bills are great at forcing turnovers.
They are. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, but I'm still going Bills there. I just think the Bills there, they're just too good right now.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go Browns-Chiefs. This is frustrating because I want to pick the Browns, but I'd be stupid to pick the Browns.
You have a lot of loyalty with the Browns this year.
I enjoy the Browns. I think they're a really fun team to watch. and they're a fun team to be invested in a little bit, I guess, right? They are kind of that underdog, no pun intended. The way they play football, I think they play smart, and I think if they play the brand of football they played last week,
they play like they want it, and they do want it.
Right.
And you like to get behind teams like that, and I'm with you actually. I like the Browns right now. I like teams that go out there and play with their heads on fire. I like teams that go out there and play like they want to win.
Right.
But if you just look up, if you look at, the styles, stylistically, you look at the Steelers being able to really throw for a lot of yards against the Browns, and that offense is nothing even close to what the Kansas City Chiefs are in terms of weapons and dynamics and what they can do with the football. That's got to make you worried, because you got to think if Big Ben threw for 505 or 500 yards or something like that, Patrick Mahomes could go for 7. Honestly, it's ridiculous. If he really put his head down and decided he wanted to, he could.
And so here's the things I will say. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs, but here are the things that are going towards the Browns' favor. They will have their offensive line back at full strength.
Correct. They will have their head coach.
They will have their head coach back.
They will be able to practice.
They will be able to practice, right. Chiefs' running game is suspect at best right now.
And I don't know.
I don't believe Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be able to play.
But you still got Le'Veon Bell. He's a damn good second option.
He is a good second option. The Chiefs have been winning, but
it's been close.
They have not been playing well. They have not been playing good football. So, if the Chiefs can, which the Chiefs are that kind of team where they will just be like, yeah, we weren't playing good football, but now we are. And they'll just show up and they'll put up 40, and then that'll be it.
Correct.
Which is why I'm picking the Chiefs, because I think that's more likely than not.
I do too.
But if that carries over into this playoff game, do not be surprised the Browns walk away with this game. I will be rooting for the Browns, but my brain says Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs as well, and I expect them to start a lot faster. Especially if you look at last year and even this year, they never have really started fast. They are always kind of a second half team.
Sure.
Let's sort of feel it out and see. But the thing we saw last week with the Browns is they're very opportunistic in terms of their brand of football. They're going to capitalize on mistakes that you make, and the more opportunities you give them with any team in the NFL, the more likely they are to score points. And I think if you're the Chiefs, you can't afford that to happen. Not in these playoffs, because they're a lot more competitive than we were last year, in my opinion, in terms of the teams and in the level of play. So I think if you're the Chiefs, if you're a Chiefs fan, expect your team to come out very quickly, and they're going to have to, because this game is going to be very close, I think.
The Browns are going to win the time of possession battle.
Agreed.
I'm almost 100% sure of it. They're going to win the time of possession battle.
Mostly every team does against the Chiefs.
So So the Chiefs need to be very careful about how successful their drives are. If you take the ball down the field, if you take up time, you need to put up points. The Chiefs need to put up points on almost every drive, because the Browns are going to be taking up all of that time. Man, that's the second time I did that. The Browns are going to be taking up all of that time with their solid running game and their good foundation, and the Chiefs need to be ready for that. I think they will be. It'll be closer than people expect.
Yeah, it will be very close.
They're going to get clapped, Chase Claypool.
Definitely not counting out the Browns by any means, but I just think the Chiefs are too good.
Yeah.
I just think talent-wise, they're just in the league all their own, so I'm going Chiefs on that one.
All right, let's talk Bucs Saints.
And especially in Arrowhead.
That's true, it is in Arrowhead.
Especially in Arrowhead.
And they will have fans there.
And they will. I think it's like 35-40% capacity now. They're starting to get towards 50,
This might be where we differ. Bucs Saints.
This is my game of the week for me.
It's going to be a fun one.
This game.
I'm glad they put it at 6:40 because now I can watch the whole thing.
Yep, I do too. I'm going with the Buccaneers, and I'll tell you why. Because I think, and this is something we can go back and check the tape. I actually talked about this when they got blown out, when they only scored 3 points. I actually talked about it. It almost felt like they were just gathering information.
Yeah, you did say that.
I did say that, and that makes me very interested to see how the Buccaneers look, right?
Sure.
Because you look at what they were when they played the Saints the first or the second time compared to what they look like now, they were a completely different football team. That pressure has ramped up. That back end is not giving up big plays. They're still giving up plays, but they're not giving up big plays for touchdowns like they were in the past. That offense is on fire right now. Pre-snap motion, using running backs out of the backfield, being committed to the run early, right? Not asking Tom Brady to do things that are out of character for him.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line, on point right now. You know, those are the things that they needed to kind of shore up and be different about. And I'm never betting against Tom Brady in the playoffs, ever, ever, never. And you know, so for me, I think those are going to be the things that are going to lead the Buccaneers to victory. I'm going Buccaneers personally, and I think the other thing, and we had talked about this in the last episode, the Buccaneers need to be committed to sending pressure the entirety of the game. Very similar to what they did with Washington. They always sent pressure. They always were getting to the quarterback. That's how you beat this team with the Saints. In the past 2 games, they started to shy away from the pressure, and they tried to cover the people. They tried to cover the wide receivers. That's not going to happen. Not with a quarterback like Drew Brees. Drew Brees is going to be able to throw somebody open even if they're not open. You need to get to Drew Brees, sit his ass on the ground, make him think about every time he touches that football, I have some big boys coming down here to try to take my head clean off my body. That's how you're going to beat them. Don't worry about Alvin Kamara. Don't worry about Mike Thomas. Those guys are not the people. Drew Brees is the guy. Focus in on Drew Brees. Hit him a lot. And I think the Buccaneers will win this game.
The key to the game for the Bucs is, just like you said, pass rush. However, you also need to stop the run when you're talking about the Saints. Alvin Kamara, he came back last week after being off for an entire week. So, he's got his stride back. Alvin Kamara rushes for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Saints win.
Oof, I completely disagree with
that. I think that's how that's going to go.
I completely disagree.
I think you're correct. Drew Brees is not. I don't think he's going to do well in this game. Drew Brees is not going to play well.
No.
They're going to run the ball like nuts, and I think they're going to run it, and they're going to run it well, because they're going to be so pass rush hungry.
But do you? Running the football against pressure usually doesn't equate to anything good, though. Now, here's where I would agree with you, right? If they get Alvin Kamara out of the backfield,
could happen.
Screens, bubble passes, 3-yard outs, 3-yard ins. If you look at the past 2 games, that's where he was successful. Not taking the ball out of the backfield. Teams don't run against the Bucs. Why? Because they usually send pressure.
Sure.
So they're filling up A gap, B gap, C gap.
Sure.
There's nowhere for them to run to. But it leaves the middle open.
Sure.
So I would agree with you if they use Alvin Kamara correctly. That's what it's going to come down to if you're a Saints fan, I think.
I think the Saints pull through in this game. And I think the reason why is because they are kind of reminiscent. That defense is very reminiscent of a Washington defense, where they do have a really good pass rush in Cameron Jordan, and there's a lot of other guys on that line that are going to cause fits for that Bucs offensive line.
And their back end is better, too, than Washington.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So I think a combination of a very similar defense, if not better, and a way better offense, that combination, I mean, granted, you can't compare 2 games 1-to-1 like that.
Right.
But I think the formula is there for the Saints to put the kibosh on the Bucs. Bold prediction. Last drive of the game, Tom Brady's trying to drive downfield, tries to throw a flat, pick 6.
Wow. Disrespecting my guy like that, bro. I'll say this, too. You know, one thing I'm going to be very curious to see, are the Saints going to come in resting on their laurels early?
I don't think so.
Hey, we beat this team 2 times already, and we kicked the living shit out of them, too, in these first 2 games.
I think
because I think that exact mentality reversed for the Buccaneers is going to be a reason why they win the game. They're going to come in. I think this is very similar to the Browns and the Steelers. Okay. I think this is very similar in terms of the dynamics of the game. Hey, we kicked the living crap out of these guys 2 times already. Let's come in here a 3rd time and let's get it done. While the Buccaneers are in the lab changing the entirety of their whole look is different.
I don't think you'll see that, only because I think Sean Payton is a better coach than Mike Tomlin is, and B, they don't have that kind of culture issue that the Steelers have. So I think you do have a hungry football team in New Orleans that's going to take what's happening at face value. You got a lot of intelligent guys on that defense.
That's true. Very true.
They are not. Tom Brady's smart, but they're smart too. they're gonna they're gonna see what's happening through the course of the game, and they're gonna adjust just as much as the Bucks are. It will be a close game. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a really fun one. Great way to cap off wild card divisional round weekend.
Very.
And I'm very excited to see. That's for sure.
Pumped. I am pumped. But alrighty, y'all. That was it. Nice, quick, to the point. Going over the divisional round. You just heard our picks. Let us know in the comments what you think. And again, I'm going to keep saying it, but thank you guys so much for rocking with us the whole season. Yeah. It's kind of cool, now that I'm uploading these videos, kind of looking back at all the weeks that we've been through, to kind of see the consistent support throughout. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank y'all so much for it. We appreciate it. Absolutely. And we will see you guys next Tuesday, where we'll be down to 4 teams. That's it. And then we'll be down to 2 teams at some point. And then, hey, you never know. We might have a Super Bowl special or something of that nature. We'll do something in the meantime. Award show? We'll do something. We'll do something. But alrighty, y'all. Until next time, we'll catch you later.